Before we get started this morning, I'd like all of us just to take a moment, and those of you on Zoom, thank you for being here. And let's just take a gentle breath. Let's just gently breathe into our hearts. And then as we relax, let's just look around the room wherever we are and just appreciate where we are. The beauty of this room, the people that are here, the tree with all its lights, just taking all that in. Janine, thank you for that song. Light of light, we humbly pray, shine in our hearts this day. This song is a prayer, and as a chaplain, whenever I'm preparing for prayer, part of my opportunity is to, what we call in the chaplain program, kind of opening myself and going down into the sacred space, the spiritual space that is always present. In order to know that in that prayer, oftentimes it's asking, but in truth, we are never separate. We are never separate from the oneness of who we are. And in that oneness of who we are connected to all that was needed. Now, this month, we started the process of Advent last week. And today, the focus was peace. And there was an interesting article, I thought, in the Daily Word today, focusing on peace. And it was by a gentleman named Richard who had been here one time before, some years ago. He's a musician and within Unity. Audrey, I've just remembered something. Can you bring me my contact lens case? Thank you. I got to take the contact out, otherwise I'm not going to be able to read. Thank you. So anyway, Richard, in writing this article, he was remembering a line from the Bible, from James 4:3. And it said, "You ask and do not receive, because you ask wrongly." Now, nowadays, we'd probably use a little gentler word than wrongly. But Richard wrote, maybe we are asking wrongly when we seek peace outside of ourselves, without first knowing that it is within us. As divine beings, we already have perfect peace within us. We don't need to create it, but we do need to claim it, to realize that it's already present within us. And that's going to be really one of the basic concepts that I want to be touching upon this morning. Here we are at the beginning of December, the first Sunday in December. Last week we began that process of Advent. And the theme for this month is the light of life, and the power is life. And so as we open ourselves to start to prepare for Christmas, I find it interesting that we do it at a period on this planet of greatest darkness in terms of the northern hemisphere. And yet, we know that the sun is still there. Our relationship to it has changed. So there's an appearance of darkness. But that light, that source of light, has never gone, has never changed. The power of Christmas, what I want to look at, is about us. The story is about us. The experiences that are possible at this time of year are about us. And the symbols are about us. And it's so common in our culture, of course, to lose all that power by thinking that it is something outside of ourselves, that it is somewhere else. Also at this time of the story about us, this whole month of focus on the power within us, it's also, like the darkness, a time of extreme busyness with many demands, many responsibilities, lots of shoulds. And so it is very easy at this time of year to lose it, to miss the impact and the power that is present in all that is going on in this month, this time. Jeff's song that he shares with us each December, One Bright Star for Humankind. I love that song because the last few years I've liked to use Christmas as a symbol of a bright star, a bright awareness that's there for us all through the year to remind us in all that busyness of the year of who we are, a beacon that from the beauty of this time, from this celebration, the power of all that is there to help remind us of who we are. Pretty much every time I talk, I say that Jesus, various mystics, they come for one purpose. They come to remind us about who we are. They never come to try to change our circumstances in the outer world. They never come to change this world. And as you know, at the time that Jesus came, there was tremendous conflicts going on in that particular part of the world and other parts. But in the Bible, you'll never find anything that really is him talking about the occupation of the Romans or all the dangers that existed at that time period. They come for only one reason. And why do they do that? Why do they come to tell us about who we are? Because we've never been separate from that light. We've never been separate from the oneness. But we are a part of that. The mystics say that God is love. And that we are a part of that love. We are a part of that oneness. And that we've never been separate. One mystic wrote, "The Lord is never unmindful of us, even for a moment. He is always looking after us. We have never been separate from him. We believe that we are separate. We believe that everything is outside of us. And so we experience in our life the experience of separation from the light and from that oneness. The experience of lack in all parts of our life because of that belief. He is always with us and always pervades our entire being because we are a part of that oneness. And even though we've never been separate from us, the belief in that separation is a source of pain because that belief is a separation from who you and I are. There's one love and we are a part of that. And so we are splitting ourselves, and that is the source of our pain and our shame and our feelings of lack and the experiences in this world. And so they come to help us know that in order to have the kind of stableness that we desire in our world, in order to feel the love and the joy that is our truth, we need to gently open to that truth that no, we have never been separate. And of course there is things to do to heal that. So Christmas is the time to slow down and to experience it, to feel its power. The music, like the song Janine sung this morning, the beauty of the lights, the giving, the stories of kindness, the various Christmas stories, all of these things, and plus the actual story of the birth, is all about us. And the reason why it is so powerful is because it's about who we are. Excuse me a second here. Okay. Advent, for example, the peace, the love, the joy that we use as a way to prepare ourselves for Christmas. Those are not about emotions that come and go within us. Those are about core parts of who we are. When the fear and the belief in separation have started to slightly lift, what we start to experience is more and more of that core of who we are, that place of peace, that place of love, that place of joy. And as we go deeper and deeper, that becomes more and more consistent as an experience within our life. And this is why it is so powerful. And with those stories of Christmas, what they're touching are places that are within you and I. Now, we could read intellectually and probably never touch many of those places that in a story or in a song can open within us without effort. The other day I happened to turn on the radio and the Pea Green Boat was on. And they're reading a Christmas story. It was called The Tree of the Dancing Goats by Patricia Polacco. And in 10 minutes of that story, I was carried into places of love, experiences of unity and compassion and caring and giving, all within a short story, which would have been very, very difficult or can be difficult to access in the moment or trying to read about those qualities. And so that's one of the powers of this season, is that through the arts, through the stories, we can access these deeper parts of who we are and be reminded that there's much, much more to us than what we are experiencing. The tree oftentimes is viewed as a symbol of life. But the life that you and I are talking about here is a different life. It's not a life that comes and goes, just like those emotions that are surface emotions, like we were talking about with Advent. We're talking about eternal life. We're talking about the fact that you are a spiritual being. You're more than a body. That body is temporary. It comes and goes, but you don't. You are eternal. Now, the tree is a true symbol of us that would be all light. It'd be a radiant light. But as you see, there are gaps between the lights. There's places of darkness. And those can be symbolic of the places within ourselves where we don't know the truth of who we are. Those places where we still believe that we are separate from the light. And there's no blame and there's no shame for those places within us. All this, therefore, is for us to bring the truth of who we are to those places, to bring the love and the light to those places, and to release them, because they're all symbolic of that old belief that we are separate from the oneness of who we are. And when we come up to those places within us, we don't know how to access. We don't know initially how to see that differently. But it's like those places that are deep within us, that through stories and music, etc., we can access. We just need to open and ask of that oneness that we are. Ask to be able to see the situation through the eyes of love, through the eyes of oneness. We're not here alone. That is part of the illusion of separation. Part of coming here together is to help heal that idea that we are separate. We come here and we experience, whether we know it or not, the love and the oneness of each other. And slowly, every time we come together, we are being transformed more and more into the truth of who we are. In conclusion, I'd like to say that hopefully I have it here. In conclusion, what I'd like to suggest is that we are not here to control this outer world or the circumstances of our life. But we are here to breathe and to relax into our truth. Allow ourselves to be moved by this time. The purpose of the darkness in our life is to push us. At first we reach outwards, but a lot of times that doesn't get resolved through that reaching outwards. And so, in desperation and last hope, we turn inwards. And so this holiday, take time to experience some of it. Allow that part of you to be open and to witness the joy, the light, and the love that is always there. Always there. I'm going to read a little short piece from Swami Chris. This is spelled wrong here. So I'm not going to say his name this time because it's spelled wrong. Oh no, here it is. Kripalananda. He goes, "You, my child, are divine. You are pure. You are sublimely free. You are God in disguise. And you are perfectly safe. Do not fight the dark. Just turn on the light. Let go and breathe into the goodness that you are. And you are blessed." Thank you. So let's just take a moment here to open to that connectedness that is our truth, to that light and that love that is our truth. So gently close your eyes if you're comfortable. And just first come down into your heart space. Just gently breathing into your heart and relaxing. We start by connecting inwards to ourself, this place of our divine connection. Using the heart as a way to access that truth that we are celebrating at this time. The birthing of that Christ child is also a symbol of birthing the Christ that is latent within us. The Christ is the oneness of God's child. And so as we relax, we gently open to that oneness. We open to our oneness and the love and the oneness and the power and the peace and the joy of God. And in that oneness, we are one with all that is. We are one in each other. Not as intellectual concepts, but a oneness that takes us beyond this identity of separation and aloneness and lack and fear. We open ourselves to the grace that is here right now, the grace that is present in our oneness in every moment. We allow ourselves to be bathed and held in that grace. We are love. We are one. And we are blessed. We give thanks for this moment and for this time to be reminded of our oneness and the infinite love of God and each other. Amen. So while we sit here, let's open ourselves to each other as we say the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.